Hello, everyone, and welcome to the National Championship edition of ChuggieBets for college football. I'm Andy, that's Danny, that's Al, Matt, and Sunshine. We're all here for this important one. But before we get to anything else, let's chug a beer.
Who's ready to chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks? Welcome, ChuggieBets.
I hope everyone at home loves the sound of slurping. Very good.
Yeah, somebody was getting some real good polls on there.
I think it was Al. Al got it on me.
You're chugging ASMR.
Absolutely.
I love the intro so much too, when that's like, who's ready to make some bad gambling picks?
It's high class
beautiful.
production.
I love it. It's
I worked with the full band to do that.
I always
Full
forget
garage
about
band.
it, and then when I listen to the recording, I'm always like, hell yeah.
Fucking rules.
So last week was a bad week for me. We don't need to talk about that. I was a game under 500. Everybody else was above 500 and won their Chuggie bets. So congratulations, everyone. Everyone besides me gets a Chuggie bet just for winning your Chuggie bet. So feel free to hand those out as we go. Al was 4-3. Sunshine was 2-1. Danny was 12-10. We're going to give the crown for this week, though, to Matt at 5-3. He was 2 games above 500, which is the same as Danny, but Matt paid a little less in vig. So congratulations, Matt. Well done.
Thank you. Thank
Also,
you all. I
props to
appreciate
Danny
it.
for laying 22 bets and coming out ahead. That's a tall task.
Yeah.
I bet almost all those actually too.
All right, so before we get to the national championship game, a couple of topics that we wanted to chat about quickly. I'll take the first couple. I was not here when we recorded the NFL pod yesterday. That's because I was still driving home from Tampa after having a good time at the Relia Quest Bowl. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way I would have liked, but it was still a good time. A couple of things I wanted to point out from there. One is before the game started, Mississippi State Band was out on the field, and they spelled out Leech on the field while playing the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song, which was just a very cool moment. And then we had a moment of silence for everybody to respect Mike Leach. And then the first play of the game, they took the intentional delay of game.
Lined up in the air raid.
Yeah.
I really like that Pirates theme. You know,
the actual moment of silence, he would have just been like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
He would have started talking about his favorite candy bars. It's a solid movie theme.
Yeah. Pirates of the Caribbean is a great theme.
And then the game ended. Illinois at this point was going to lose anyway, but it ended with the hook and ladder play, basically, right, with all the pitches and laterals. And Mississippi State scooped it, scored. Instead of 13-10, they won 19-10, which caused anybody who had Illinois plus 3.5 to lose their bets. So
what's especially funny about that is last week on the college podcast, Andy, you were sitting here preaching how Illinois' got guys sitting out. Bet everything you have on Mississippi State. They should be like a touchdown favorite. And like, so I know you knew what the expectation was going into this game, but I still know that when you were sitting there watching the game, you're like, why isn't Illinois winning, right? And then I think the line, I think when we did the podcast, we got Mississippi State as a pick'em, so we were all covering our bets there. But I also took them heavier day of, and I got them -3, and I think it was anywhere from -2.5 to -3.5. So that field goal that they kicked, which also I'm sure anyone who's listening here probably was watching the game, but I'm watching the play, and there's like 20 seconds left. Mississippi State busts this run from like the 30. And they get tackled at the 2-yard line, and there's 12 seconds left. And I'm like, damn, they almost hit the touchdown to give us the cover, you know? And then they do the thing where they snap the ball and they center it for the field goal kicker. So he's just got a straight on chip shot. But they take a timeout with 7 seconds left. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, why do you do that at 7 seconds? If you're going to just waste a play and use a timeout, bring it down to 3 seconds left so the kick ends the game. You don't have a risk of a kick return for touchdown. And then
you're snapping it on a bad snap. You can do it again.
Yeah, but I mean that shit never happens.
Yeah, it doesn't, but it's just why.
Just in case.
Yeah.
The other thing that was confusing to me is after that, right? Mississippi State took the timeout at 7 seconds. Illinois then took 2 timeouts to ice the kicker twice. And I'm like, you're going to have 7 seconds left. You're going to be down 3. Like, don't we think that those timeouts could possibly be helpful? Like, why would you try from the 12-yard line, right? Like, we weren't icing him on a 50-yarder or a 60-yarder. Like, this was a chip shot. Like, everybody on this podcast could have made that. Like, why do that? It didn't make any sense. But, be better, Bert.
Yeah, I think icing the kicker should be illegal. I think if you try to use a timeout when a kicker is lined up for a field goal, the field goal's good automatically. It's such a waste of time, especially if you're using 2 timeouts. That game lasted like 30 minutes longer than it should have.
Back-to-back timeouts should absolutely be illegal. Now I
used to
understand
be, didn't it?
But you should not be allowed. I think it is in the NFL now or something, or it used to be in the NFL. And anyway, back-to-back timeouts should absolutely be illegal. It's the dumbest thing in all of sports to have the whole team line up like they're going to kick a field goal and then call timeout and then have them do the whole fucking thing again and then call another timeout. It's just the most annoying thing as a sports fan to have to watch a coach make that happen to me as a sports fan.
Or it should be like a 10-second timeout. Like, okay, 10 seconds to line up and play again. Like, you don't get like a minute. We don't get a commercial break. Like, just play the fucking play.
What I did learn yesterday is that Illinois is the best team at the hook and ladder for the first 7 plays. That went as well as I've ever seen that play go.
Really
they
good.
advanced the ball 45 yards with ease, where I got to the point where I was excited for Andy, but sad I was going to lose my bet. And then it all went to shit really quick. But that first 40 yards was like, it was poetry. You got it to Williams on the outside, ball came back across, you got it back to the quarterback, and then
Jacoby Myers ended up with it.
You threw it to Mac Jones, and it all went to shit.
And the worst part is our quarterback is the one who made the bad throw, right? Like all the throws before that were great, and then our quarterback, which
it was a pretty athletic play by the defensive player. He's like one hopped that thing and just grabbed it and went. It was well timed.
Yep.
It was fun.
Yeah, a good time at the ReliaQuest Bowl. Hopefully, I don't have to wait 12 years before I go to another Illinois bowl game.
Oh, yeah, he'll be back next
what
year.
bowl game was that?
Quarterback try to tackle him after the while he was running for the touchdown, because that would have been great.
So were they trying to?
No, did the Patriots quarterback try and tackle him? Is there any stiff arm action?
No, I don't think so.
Was that the old Outback Bowl?
I think
what
so.
bowl game was that? Because they were like 8 years ago in the ReliaQuest Bowl. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, ReliaQuest. Like,
the Outback Bowl,
brand new.
The Bloomin' Onion Outback Bowl. Yeah, that was always Raymond James. So
yeah, but before the game they said it's the 42nd ReliaQuest Bowl or something like that, and I was like, it's absolutely not the 42nd.
the fourth or second ReliaQuest Bowl.
All right, so that's enough about my family. We had some really good news about Danny's family over the weekend. Danny, would you like to share your wonderful personal news?
Some boosters came in. The Coastal Carolina boosters got together, and turns out my parents are staying together. They're staying together. Grayson's going to stick around, and I don't have to let my dad, Grayson, leave my mom, Coastal Carolina. They're going to stick around. He's going to stay at school for 1 more year.
You know, there's a lot of things that go well together. Peanut butter and jelly, peas and carrots, whiskey and Coke, and Grayson and Call and Coastal Carolina. It's just, it wouldn't have been right. I'm glad,
I would have hated it.
Glad they got together and, mended things.
It would have been Myrtle Beach without Grayson McCall, you know?
That's right.
I would have liked to have seen him at a Power 5 school and seen him have some success there, but
it wouldn't have been the same.
I also am really excited to just bet them to cover a bunch of games next year again. It's gonna be fun.
Yep.
He'll be back. It had to be money, right? He had to go test the market and see if Coastal would drop the bag.
I think it's also, he doesn't really have he's not high up on a bunch of NFL lists or anything. And I think if you go have success at a big school, that could change.
Oh, that's true. You think? I was curious if Wake Forest would get involved there, someone like that, considering what may be happening with Sam Hartman. And not saying Wake Forest is a big school, but they got some bags. They got a couple bags. There's a lot of wealthy people that went to that university.
Yeah, I don't think Wake would have been a school that he would have left for if the money was similar. I think that he was looking for something more like national title contendering.
Who is it?
So he was looking for Florida State.
Oh yeah. He's got to replace the number one quarterback in the country.
Be the successor to Stetson Bennett at UGA.
No, Georgia needs bad players. Actually, Georgia needs bad players at that position. Grayson's too talented.
They don't believe in good quarterbacks. So that means your chances of dangerous sex and drugs go down, Danny, or are you just going to keep those even with the divorce?
The shots of the chances of risky sex for me goes way down. Sorry,
that sucks. That's a shame.
Oh.
So I don't want to talk about this next topic, but I guess we have to. A bunch of us thought that USC -2 was too good to be true, and it turns out it was. So,
well, I will give Al credit here for being steadfast
right.
and knowing it was a trap. Al said it was a trap from the beginning, and we joked about it being a trap, but my God, was it a trap? Because USC looked like they were a wagon until like the middle of the third, and everything went to shit really quick. And my thought is that Vegas is really good at paying referees to get the result they want. They're really good at it because there's no reason that game should have ended that way. It was a great ending, but that was fucking bullshit.
Like 100% the Tulane kicker and the USC kick returner were in cahoots. Like that shit was super rigged. So USC had a 15-point lead with like 4 minutes left. Tulane goes down, gets a touchdown. They're now down by what is it?
They were down
points. 8. They're down 8. The Tulane kicker kicks it off deep. The USC kick returner, he like the kick is like in the corner at the like coffin corner, like right at the pylon. The USC returner like catches it and bobbles it out of bounds, like inside the 1 yard line.
Where you let it bounce because you either are going to get the ball at the 40 because it goes out of bounds, or you get a touchback because it goes into the end zone. It's at the spot where you never touch it.
Yeah, and so he touched it, and so it was like down to inside the half yard line. And then as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, Tulane's going to get a safety here, aren't they? And then they get a safety, and I'm like, it's a 6-point game, and they're getting the ball back.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, they go down, score again with 8 seconds left, and there's the ball game.
I thought that was going to be the hit on that drive was going to be the worst one I was going to have to watch this weekend. The one that wasn't even a targeting, wasn't even a bad football play, just like a good tackle where the two guys.
Yeah.
And that was tough. Anyway.
It's whenever I think it's like clear targeting, it never is, and whenever I think it's like could go either way, it's always like get him out of here. So I don't know.
That's because you're a Miami fan, bud, and it's always clearly targeting on us.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, this next topic I'm actually not familiar with, so one of you is going to have to fill me in. But the topic here on our spreadsheet says Brian
We'll talk
Kelly.
about the Cheez-It. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, right? So first off, we talked about the spread. 15 points seemed like too many. It was not close to enough. LSU absolutely wagoned them yesterday. But there were a lot of weird things going on in that game. First of all, is there anything worse than orange juice and Cheez-Its? I think someone on here said it last week. Like, why are Cheez-Its sponsoring the Citrus Bowl? No one wants that shit. The Citrus Bowl should be like Tropicana, something.
They're trying to out-orange the Orange Bowl.
One thing worse, it'd be like if Crest toothpaste sponsored the Citrus Bowl.
That would be worse.
I mean, it's
The Citrus
not
Bowl.
bad. It'd be like if Blue Cheese sponsored it. It's like cheddar and orange juice isn't like a good combination, but it's not like a.
It's not good. It's not good, but
it's not bad.
Either way, it's gross. But there were a couple weird things outside of the gameplay, which was ridiculous. I don't know if you guys saw this, but when LSU scored their 7th touchdown of the game, and I think it was 49-0, all the players went and dogpiled the Cheez-It mascot that was in the end zone. And the coach who saw it, some coach came running down the sideline and just absolutely scolded them. Now, I was a little concerned for the Cheez-It mascot. His name is Prince Chedward, just in case you were wondering at home. That's not a joke. We were at the Cheez-It Bowl. We saw plenty of Prince Chedward running around. But I think they were just embarrassed that they were piling it on, as pardon the pun. But either way, the coach absolutely ripped into him. I could try to put a video of it online, but he was so mad. It's like, I get you're showing up the customers. You were showing up the competition. Al, what'd you get?
I was just gonna say, I wonder what the oysters are like on Prince Edward Island.
Oh. Drink.
Boo.
Al, drink.
Boo.
But finally, at the end of the game, there's like raining Cheez-Its. And Brian Kelly, like without being told, just started picking Cheez-Its off the floor and started eating them. Like there had to
They're
be.
fucking good. Cheez-Its
Man,
are good.
Look, I love Cheez-Its. I believe there was probably no less than 1,000 boxes of Cheez-Its somewhere in that stadium. Why are you eating them off the ground, man? What the fuck's wrong with you? Like, is this Boudreaux? That wasn't Brian. That was Boudreaux, Kelly. This in Louisiana has an accent and eats floor Cheez-Its.
Can we talk about like what our
Brian
favorite?
Kelly does not eat that off the floor, but LSU Brian Kelly, he's definitely Southern accent Brian Kelly definitely eats those Cheez-Its off the floor.
Yeah, that's Boudreaux.
What's our favorite and or least favorite bowl themed victory celebration? Because I'll tell you right now, I like, as much as I love the Duke's Mayo Bowl and its whole vibe, I cannot tolerate the thinned out, bastardized version of the mayonnaise that they dump on people at the end of that game. It makes me want to barf.
No, but if they did real mayonnaise, it wouldn't come out of the thing.
It would be gluggy and it would be gross and it would be so much better.
You couldn't get them stand still long enough.
Give me a 5-gallon tub of mayo and a spatula and just fling that shit at the coach. I love it way more.
Now
there's something sexual about that.
There are videos of that on the internet for sure.
And then someone else can come through with the slices of white bread and throw them on them.
Just American cheese. Just...
James Franklin had the Gatorade bath and the rose petals. That was all right. The Cheez-Its getting dumped on the coach, that's a good one. But yeah, the liquefied mayo, I can't get behind.
I love the mayo. I'm always, dude, you can't.
One of my favorites. I love the mayo. Yeah.
You can't pour regular mayonnaise. It's like pouring Jello. It like holds onto its shape. You'd be colloidal. You'd be.
What if they gave all the players the mayo squeeze bottles?
That's true. I don't know if Duke does the squeeze.
Has really good ideas on how to fix it. I'm saying that their idea is adequate for me. I don't hate the liquefied mayo. I do think I always look at that and I'm like, that's not mayonnaise. That's something else.
Yeah.
But I do like Al's better. I think Al has the best idea now. If all the players came out with squeeze bottles of mayonnaise and shot them out, that would be significantly better with real mayonnaise.
Yeah, but it's not as big of a presentation as like the 5-gallon jug.
I can be.
I think you do both. I think you do both. I was mayo cocky as Sunshine said.
I like that they're dumping Gatorade. You know, it's like the same as the Gatorade celebration, but instead it's fucking mayonnaise. It's so hilarious.
It's so gross, but it's awesome.
How long do you think it takes to hose that shit off of the turf afterwards? Like the groundskeepers have to get the mayo.
I think they just send a couple of like fat kids out there and throw white bread, and then they're just like,
Brian Kelly with some crackers.
Yeah, Brian Kelly's Jesus.
All right. So staying with LSU, I've been told to read this next one exactly as written, and it says Kayshon Boutte staying, does group sex, declares for NFL. So, would anyone like to elaborate on that story a little bit? Or?
Do we need to?
I mean, we can.
Basically, Al, do you know more about this?
I mean, what I know is that allegedly, these are all rumors, as far as I know, but there was a group sex situation occurring at I think the hotel the team was staying at for the bowl game, which included a female staffer and some other coaches, as well as star wide receiver Kayshon Boutte for LSU. And they were caught in the act by someone who was none too pleased to find all of their coworkers going at it. So it sounds like some people are going to get fired at LSU. I think Kayshon Boutte, who was planning on returning to LSU, had already declared he would be doing so. Was probably going to be kicked off the team, and so he said, "Okay, I guess I'll go pro if that works." So I don't know. Maybe it's a win-win for him. I don't know.
Each other is dumb. Adults getting fired for having sex with each other is dumb.
I get the coaches. If it was a student, female staffer, and the coaches, like That I get.
Who has more power in this situation, Andy? I know that that's usually a power thing. Who has more power in this situation? The coach. I mean, the female was a coach or staffer or whatever. The coaches or staffers, they are all adults. They can have sex with each other if they want. Butte's the most powerful one in the situation. He's going to be like a second-round pick, first-round pick maybe.
I think that's the distinction, right? Like female staffer, or are we talking like water girl, equipment girl who is a college student? Or are we talking someone who's a paid?
Their identities haven't been released. There's no.
No, I know, but to me that's an important distinction. Like, because you said nobody should get in trouble for it, and
hopefully
I agree.
It's Donna Shalala. Hopefully it's like the dean of the school, and it's Donna Shalala.
Danny, now I have to picture that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
And
like
you like
picturing the leprechaun getting tag teamed on both ends.
So I just was researching that, and there is a rumor that it happened in Atlanta during the SEC championship stay.
No.
Like,
and I believe the alleged involved co-conspirator, if you will, was a recruiting coordinator. So whatever that position entails. But I think it's always
everybody.
Let people fuck, man. Let them fuck.
Yeah. I think I see it both ways. I think just let people fuck, but I think also like
is she saying she didn't want to do this?
Like,
is that what you're getting at, Andy? She didn't want to do this?
No, from everything I've read, it sounded very consensual. Obviously, I think we all agree if there was an aspect of something that wasn't consensual, that again, whole different story. But this sounded very consensual. I just think if it's people who work for the university and students of the university, like that adds another aspect of it as well.
I think that some students should be allowed to fuck the staff, and those students are the ones that are being drafted in the first round. Yeah, they have more power than this.
Maybe it was a bit of the Notre Dame coming with Brian Kelly to LSU. The prudishness, American prudity.
Some wide receivers should be allowed to fuck the coach's wife.
What is it? We're talking about USC now? Isn't Lincoln Riley like a?
Matt, you're on mute, but I feel like Matt is the one with the most insight into this situation. Also, Chris.
Oh, sorry, especially from rival teams. I was talking. Are we talking Jimbo Fisher?
Yeah, I was bringing up.
Oh, Jimbo. The interesting thing, and bringing back, this is the opening game next year in Camping World is Florida State, who won the Cheez-It Bowl, versus LSU, who won the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. We'll know who is the best Cheez-It out there next year, first game of the year at Labor Day. So we get to both. We're all staying in Orlando next 9 months. No one has to travel. Everyone can just stay there, be comfortable, and be the champion of Cheez-It. We get to be. This is to become King Chedward.
Do you guys have enough? You guys have enough money for Travis to play for you next year?
Oh, Travis is coming back. He's already agreed.
He's already agreed.
Yep.
Oh man, then you guys are going to beat LSU. I think that's going to be great.
It should be a top 10 matchup preseason. And now that we have the number 1 quarterback in the country by PFF's QBR rating, feels good, which is a shocker. But
his decision to come back now that stat came out,
he's like, shit, I should have got drafted. I think he may be too small, like too frail for the NFL. I mean, I think we've seen that quarterbacks get hurt very easily.
I never think of him as frail, but then I didn't think of Pat White as like as small as he looked when he got to the NFL. And boy, was that
he's very small. Yeah, Jordan Travis is like big though, isn't he?
I think I'll look up his stats. I don't think he's particularly stout. He's
not
not James Blackman, but
he's not tall.
I would guess he's like 6'3", 200.
He's not as small as Drew Brees, but he's not like.
He could be 200 pounds, but he's not. He's like 6'1".
His Wikipedia says 6'1", 212. So let's assume 5'11" and maybe 197. You know.
Okay.
But yes, the champions of the Cheez-It going back. It's just ironic that they both played. They both played. It's the battle for King Chedward's kingdom.
I'm happy for you guys that you get Travis for another year, but I am not happy for us that we have to play.
Yeah.
So this isn't on the agenda, but yeah, go ahead, Sunshine.
No. So you just said that his Wikipedia said this, so this. What should I put on my Wikipedia?
Well, I have on mine. I have a 9-inch cock. So I don't know if that's. Have you
So you
seen?
divide by
mean,
2 and
like-
subtract 1? Is that-
Yeah. Of course, that's perfect.
But I mean, like, yeah,
No.
like, so how far can I go before people know that I'm full of shit?
I don't know how to answer this question, buddy. Try one out, and let's we'll say yes or no.
Yeah, you clearly have something in mind. So hit us with what's popping around in that brain of
Throw
yours.
some numbers. Throw some numbers out there.
I've wanted to be 5'11" my whole life.
You are.
And
You're
now
in
you
my
are.
book.
You
bud.
are 5'11". You're 5'11" and a half, I thought.
I thought you were closer to 6, but
5'11", you know,
5'10".
somewhere
That's
under
what he meant.
500
6
pounds.
foot in the
Man, he's
right
too
pair of
tall.
shoes.
6 foot
6
is
foot in
like
the right pair of shoes.
no leg room on an airplane. Like he wants to be a little bit shorter.
yeah.
All right, so
Do
this
it.
is not on the agenda, but Matt and Sunshine, you guys, I'm not the only one that went to a bowl game this week. You guys have anything from the Cheez-It Bowl that stood out? You guys won, so congrats.
Yeah, it was a great game. We parked at a transmission auto repair place, which was an interesting experience. I don't know if anyone's been to Camping World Stadium. It is. Danny and I have been there twice this year, and same thing with Sunshine. And we've been to sporting events 3 times collectively.
The other
this
game
year.
was at the
Exploria, which is
yeah.
that's a great stadium. I
Which
like
that's-
that.
which one's on UCF's campus? Because I've been there.
The Bounce House? No, we didn't go to that one. We were in the downtown stadiums.
I've been to the Bounce, which is a really fun place to go. Dude, those UCF folks tailgate on campus like crazy. It is fun.
Yeah, it was very fun.
But Matt, we had a great time at both games that we went to. But I gotta say that the stadium experience was better at the actual soccer stadium than it
hell
was.
yeah.
Camping World it's a place. It's a
It
place.
exists.
Both of them are in a neighborhood.
They are both there.
Yeah.
It's not a great stadium and it's not a great experience.
Why does
as
it
far as-
exist?
I don't know.
Just for the bowl game, purely? Like, does
Yeah,
the
for
team
the
play
Citrus
there?
Bowl, probably.
UCF used to play there.
But they don't currently.
No, they built it on campus stadium. That's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
But the on-campus stadium has been there like 15 years or like 10 years or something.
I mean, it's a while now, but they've been around for like 40, and Camping World's been
So
around for.
Camping World's just like a ghost stadium, basically. Like it's used once a year.
I mean,
Maybe does some
USA
concerts.
soccer plays there sometimes.
Okay. So it's just like a random venue. Sorry, Matt. Continue with your.
No problem.
Did you get your car tuned up?
We did. Yeah, we did. So we walked over to the game. The game was really good. I got to watch the Sooner Schooner come out, which is really cool. That's something like if you're a college football person, like I want to see Ralphie the Buffalo run. I want to see Bevo, but the Sooner Schooner is up there as far as cool. So Sooner Schooner and then Osceola and Renegade came out. It was a really cool like beginning of the game as far as people with like live animal performances
Yeah.
showing out.
Oh, so speaking of, I mean, this is completely interrupting and off topic, but so I think you guys have one of the best openings of any school out there. You know, the white guy from the fraternity running out pretending to be an Indian, throwing the spear and everything. I think it's awesome. It's really what?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And then I think we also have one of the great things running through the smoke. You know, the guys with the fire extinguishers pretending that it's smoke, and then I love
It's
it.
pretty lame. Everyone does it now.
But it's our thing.
Yeah.
Was
Sure.
it your thing? I mean this legitimately as a question. Were you the first one to do that?
I think so.
I believe it.
I don't know.
No,
At our school, they tell.
were
But I mean, like
Actually-
high school teams do it.
to do that. Just like
People copy the
just
Canes.
like the SEC was in.
They're the first ones to invent football, the SEC. Everyone knows that.
The U invented
Oh.
swag, man.
You're right.
I agree. I'm not arguing this. I was just curious if you really were the first ones to run through the smoke.
I think it was one of those things like the turnover chain where we did it first and everybody copied us. But I'm not 100% sure on that front. I just know that we've been doing it since the 70s.
Yeah, but I think that was just all your players were smoking in the locker room before one game, and when they
That
opened
actually
the doors,
is how you invent swag.
yeah,
That's how
people
you
were
invent
like,
swag.
oh shit, that looked cool.
What's the guy from Two Live Crew used to be there, just like puffing weed smoke out of there? And
No, I think it was Schnellenberger's cigar as he walked out. I think he was the leader of it.
there it is.
Yeah, no.
How do you think ours rank amongst like all those other ones? Because I mean, like there's a lot of really cool ways that colleges start. You know.
Yeah, I'm like, of course, I'm going to be biased here, so it's hard for me to say that. Like, I thought the Sooner Schooner was awesome.
My thing is, I think FSU's is number one.
I agree, but Oklahoma is awesome, right? They come out. I think Ralphie the Buffalo is crazy. It seems incredibly dangerous to have a wild buffalo. I'm sure he's not wild, but like an actual buffalo. Just like go for it, bud. You go.
Colorado, right?
Yeah,
Colorado? Yeah, that's nuts.
I think
you do you, buddy.
Dion should race the buffalo.
Oh wow.
Dion should race it backwards.
I would watch that.
Andy, do you have anyone else? You're not as biased as we are as far as like our schools. I don't know Illinois is opening either, but
We don't do anything that cool anymore. We used to have the Chief Alinowick, but we were banned from that. So
Ohio
play like a
State
champion.
tops
Is that
the
like a
eye.
cool one? I know that's like legendary, like hitting the play like a champion sign as you're coming out, but that's not exactly the same thing. I know Virginia Tech comes out to Sandman, which is cool. South Carolina comes out to Sandstorm, which is also pretty cool. That do-do-do-do-do. You know that song? Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Am I right, Chris? You're giving me the crazy eye. I know they do something to Darude Sandstorm.
Ohio State
yeah,
dots the I.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about dotting
Pretty
the I.
big.
That's dope.
I mean, Notre Dame does the traditional, like they all touch the touchdown Jesus thing, and they're like very like religious about their coming
Oh,
out.
Clemson runs down a hill.
Clemson does run down a hill.
They
Super
touch a
lame.
rock.
They do touch a rock.
And they,
I don't know.
well, they're built in the name, image, and likeness of Jesus, and Peter is the rock of the church, so they must be touching Peter.
Look at you, man. You
Wow.
dropped some Bible on our asses.
you were paying attention in those classes, man.
Wait, you say they're all touching Peter?
Is it consensual?
You don't have to drink for that one. That's a good one. You give out an extra drink. You can steal one of my drinks and give it out. That was a very good one. Chris, I don't know. I'll go quickly for the rest. I thought the game was great. Florida State was down early. Jordan Travis had a friggin' monster game after throwing the pick, going 9 for 10 and 170 yards. And our giant wide receiver was badass with 200 yards receiving. He's a horse.
He made some damn good catches too.
That one-handed one to get the go-ahead score was amazing.
Yep.
Sonny, you got anything else to add there?
Like he's like on one hand, and then he makes the catch with the other hand or whatever. He's done a couple of those this year.
Sonny, you want to talk about the beverage shortage?
Oh wow. Yeah, I would. I will address that. They were selling 16-ounce cans in 4-packs, and so naturally, everybody that was in line was like, "I'll take 2 4-packs." And come like the beginning of the third, after halftime, there's no alcohol in the entire stadium. It's just being passed around people's seats, I guess.
Yeah, they can't have Florida State
like,
come into town and allow that.
I doubt
Should have bought more
Oklahoma
4-packs.
either, Matto. So you put those two groups of people in a stadium and give out like we're selling 4-packs at a discount. Boom, booze gone.
I got to be honest with you. I was intoxicated, so I don't even know how much I spent for the 4-packs that I bought. I can tell you that my bank statement did drop significantly, but I don't know if it was hot dogs or beer that caused it.
Were they selling hot dogs in 4-packs?
You betcha. Or I thought they were. I was ordering them like that.
Yeah.
Only if you're a
but then they,
staffer.
yeah. So they were out of alcohol for like the entire third quarter, and miraculously in the fourth quarter, people were able to start getting alcohol again. But by that time, I think our entire group was pretty housed and not free to walk around to buy said drinks. We just had to.
No, my son and I shamefully ran the 200s and the plaza level. We sprinted, and it was a fun game for him because he got to run around a little bit. And I was searching for beer, and there was either a 500-person line for chicken tenders, and beer's not worth it that much. I'd rather watch the game, or there was no alcohol, no one serving beer, so that sucked. But I did steal a couple beers from Chris's 4-packs he was bringing back, so that worked out very conveniently for me.
So trick, when they run out of beer like that, the people you're looking for in a stadium every time is the guys with the tubs around their neck. They almost always have beer when nobody else does. You might need cash to pay them, but in every stadium I've ever been to, those are the last people with beer. And they sometimes will sell you beer even after like the third quarter. If they stop selling beer when the third quarter starts, those guys are usually like on a separate contract or whatever, and they will sell you beer late. I know that's the way it is in our stadium in Miami Gardens if you're ever there.
But the cool thing was there were independent coolers as soon as you walked out of the stadium, and people trying to hustle. They were selling $3 beers, and we got like 4 of those for the walk back to the car, which was like a quarter mile.
Oh, nice.
So that worked out great.
Also, if you're ever at Camping World, make sure you park a quarter mile away, because if you buy that real good close parking, you're going to be sitting waiting to get out of that stadium for 7 hours.
Dude, we were there for an hour waiting, and we had far away parking. It was a nightmare. But it was a great game. I don't regret it at all.
2 things I want to add about that the experience is parking downtown, which was a walk, but we were able to get right out of there. Also, I didn't realize Orlando had a hopping downtown.
They do. Yeah.
Orlando gets shit on by everybody who has not been to Orlando or whose only Orlando experience is going to Disney World when they were like 7. Yeah, Orlando's all right. Driving through it sucks, but like if you want to go get drunk in a city, there's worse options.
Driving through Miami sucks, dude. All big cities suck to drive.
I can assure you there's worse options than places to get drunk than Miami, too.
I'm saying like traffic everywhere stinks.
Yeah.
So that's the camping. That was the Cheez-It Bowl. Great experience. Beer ran out quick. And I parked at a transmission center, and Chris parked a mile away and got out quick.
Top 10 Chuggies of the year. I guess it's this year. But Andy and Amy's Jameson Chuggy. That was top 10 of the year.
That was a good one.
Solid.
Last year, even.
Anytime the wife gets in on it, it's a solid move.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, bringing the wife to the game turned out to be a really good move too, because she didn't really care about the football, right? She was only there like to support me. So every time a new quarter started, she'd be like, "I'll be right back," and then she'd come back with snacks and beer.
Oh, that's
fantastic!
The best.
So, like, she got to miss all the lights. She didn't care about the game, and I get to just sit there and have food brought to me. It was by a beautiful woman. It was great.
That's wonderful. Kudos, buddy. Kudos.
Missy
Good on you.
Snacks and beer at Kansas ever.
That's because she cares about the football.
No, she just. I don't think she
doesn't care about
it. She never. She just didn't have pluses and
Matt,
minuses.
tell them what the transmission place was when you got back.
Oh, so it just looked like, so my son and this other child were playing on top of like pneumatic lifts, which is weird, right? Because they shouldn't be allowed to do that because it seems incredibly dangerous. And that was outside, and like Liam was covered in oil. Like it was disgusting, but kids will be kids. And I had a buddy come up. He's like, if you haven't been in that transmission place, he's like, it's the best party east of the Mississippi. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. I thought he was just being an asshole. We walk past the transmission place on the way back. We look inside. There are at least 50 beer pong tables and just like liquor bottles everywhere. And it was not like a bar. It was like a free for all. Like you could just grab a bottle of liquor and just pour it wherever you wanted. I was like, oh, damn, I missed this transmission shop was bumping. It was lit.
Describing a party as the best party east of the Mississippi, how likely are you to order your whiskey and fingers if you describe it?
How likely are you to wear a bolo tie and say, barkeep? I want 4 fingers of whiskey.
All right. So before we get to the playoff games, any other games anybody wants to talk about?
Kansas, Arkansas was bananas. That was the craziest game. I thought Kansas was dead in the water, and I was wrong. And I bet the under, and I was really wrong. That shit went sideways quick.
Oh,
I bet Arkansas.
How about the Pittsburgh UCLA under? I bet the Pittsburgh UCLA under. What a fucking dumbass I am.
Narduzzi like the easiest under of all time.
Yeah. Oh, I can't believe Pittsburgh scored in that game.
they scored 5 times, right? Something like that.
Like a lot, yeah.
That's dumb. Bowl games are dumb.
Yeah.
There were so many bowl games that I thought my bet looked beautiful at halftime, and then I lost in just brutal fashion. So many. It was really a rough bowl season. Sorry, Sunshine. What do you have?
Well, one that my bet didn't look good.
Jump into the national championship.
Sorry, I'm like glitching. So I don't know who's saying what? I have bad internet.
No, I was just gonna. Oh, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying another bet of mine that didn't look good at halftime or early in the game, but ended up going great was the Alabama game. Kansas State jumped out to a hell of a lead, and Alabama was just like, guys, we're Alabama. Why are we letting this happen? And then just like, whoop, all of a sudden we're up by 30.
Oh.
Yeah, the 1.5 I was worried about were not important.
You died on that 1.5.
No, I locked it up.
Okay.
You convinced me. All right, so on to the playoff games. We have in the past had some playoff games that were not very interesting, but that didn't happen this time. They both came right down to the wire. Interesting games the whole way through. Anybody have anything on Maximum Duggan?
So I was at a wedding, and I knew going into it that I was going to miss pretty much the entire fourth quarter of that game. And there was a lot of casually looking at my smartwatch to try and sneak a score update. But then at some point, I just like lost service, and so I did not know what was going on. And I'm like, man, this is a long ceremony. Let's go. Let's get out of here. And then once we got out, I checked the score, and I think it had gone final. And I was like, phew, glad TP was able to pull it off. No, it was like there was like 6 minutes left in the game, and it was like also there was like touchdowns every like 30 seconds in that game.
It was
the whole second
ridiculous.
half. It was insane. So, yeah, I didn't know how it was going to shake out. Just staring at my watch, hoping it would update. But
yeah, I was like, oh no, I hope he's not dead. Oh, good, he's not dead. Are they still going to score? Oh no, I think I cursed them there. Oh no, yes, I didn't curse them. I uncursed them at that time.
Yeah. Oh.
I got a hot take here. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe TCU had 2 pick sixes.
They did.
And like obviously there's some skill involved in an interception, right? And there's some like obviously non-skill involved on Michigan's side, but like there's a little bit of luck in turning an interception into a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say TCU got super lucky to win this game. You
I
take away those
agree.
2 pick sixes, and Michigan runs away with this.
Andy, chug a beer.
I agree
Fair
with
enough.
you, Andy. I don't think Maximum. Look, I love Max Duggan, right? I do this every podcast. We talk about it forever. He was not great consistently. He made miraculous plays. He hit a bunch of big ass plays, but I do think they were relatively lucky. But it doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? They beat Michigan at Michigan's game.
It matters when we start talking about lines for the upcoming game, which we'll get to in a little bit.
I mean, I think calling pick sixes luck is not fair. I think you don't throw those balls when that's a potential outcome, and that's just the same as throwing a regular interception or missing a hole as a running back or dropping a pass as a wide receiver. Like, I guess you can call those things luck, but it's more just making a good decision, or I guess making a bad decision in this situation when you don't want to be doing it. If you're throwing a flat route or you're throwing a 5-yard hitch to your tight end and there's no one there, if it gets picked off and there's also a linebacker standing right in the path, you don't throw the ball because it gets returned for a touchdown twice.
Right, but I guess my point is, if those 2 intercepted balls get tackled immediately, like I don't know that they score on both of those, and so like the fact that you're able to return it for a touchdown, like obviously there's skill involved. I wouldn't have been able to do it, right? I'm not saying that, but like
you're also up 13 with 3 minutes left, so it wasn't like that lucky. I don't know if Michigan runs away with it without those 2 pick sixes. I think that might be an odd take.
Michigan also had a couple of like really big plays down to like the 5-yard line and then weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Oh my God, that whole review. Oh, that was so funny. So, everyone listening knows I'm a Lions fan, right? So a lot of University of Michigan crossover with the Lions accounts I follow on Twitter. One of the guys I follow, he when that play goes to review, he's like, "This is exactly the kind of thing that's pointless." He's like, "What? Like, why are you spending so much time reviewing this to call back a touchdown just to spot it at the 1/2-yard line, 1st and goal?" And then they fumble the ball, and TCU recovers, and he goes, "Well, fuck." And I'm like, "Yep, that's why."
I was like out to an early dinner during this game, and like everybody like ordered dessert, and I just wanted to get home to watch the end of the 4th quarter. I was like, guys, it's halftime. Like, we could watch the whole second half. Just don't order dessert. We don't need dessert. And they're all like, "Oh, but this chocolate cream looks delicious."
I'm like, "Oh, I never get a after dinner coffee. I should get an espresso."
Like,
oh, you guys have to hand crush the beans? Oh, I love it. Sounds great. Let's get 7.
We just had a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old behave through an entire fancy dinner. You want to try and see if they'll behave through a coffee? Shut the fuck up. We're going home.
You want to roll the dice?
And then Georgia Ohio State was a barn burner too. So again, still at the wedding for that one. This wedding on New Year's Eve is, they're going through midnight, right? So they're like counting down. Christine's like, "Come on, they're counting down to midnight," and we're all like, there's like half a dozen of us crowded around a cell phone watching this like field goal attempt. Yeah, there's lots of videos online of that exact scenario happening where the wife is like, "Where's my husband?" And the guys are all like, "What the fuck?"
The best part about this dinner is once the dessert was coming out, Missy's grandpa is a diabetic, and you guys know I don't really eat sugar. So as the dessert's like on the table, like I basically set up my phone so Grandpa and I could watch the game next to each other. Everybody else is like loving all these desserts, and we're just like, he's rooting for Michigan. I mean, they're from Michigan. He's rooting for Michigan, and I'm like secretly rooting for TCU. Well, like, hey, I hope Michigan wins, but by less than 6.5.
Yeah.
You guys are football guys. That's it. Just two dudes being dudes enjoying football.
Just football guys at a steakhouse on New Year's Eve.
Literally, that's the most football guy you could be.
Grandpa is a football guy. Grandpa's the best, man.
Just like how I was talking shit about Mississippi State leaving 7 seconds on the clock when they line up for their field goal. Ohio State, CJ Stroud scrambles and gets them inside the 30-yard line, and then what do? They go, "Okay, let's run this clock down to 0 and line up for a field goal." And it's like, you have 30 seconds left. Why don't you try and make this a chip shot field goal instead of having your kicker line up for a 50-yarder that he fucking shanks like a motherfucker? Like, it's a lot of like dumb coaching decisions that happen in the moment.
I don't think Ryan Day is a good big game coach. I think he can beat the hell out of everyone, and then when it comes to a big game, it's like it flusters him. He's like a Nathaniel Hackett. When
or like a Marco, or I always say Marco, Mario Cristobal.
Yeah, so they coach cowardly. It's in game. They coach scared in game. Yeah, so like that guy was like, "Okay, we now have a 57% chance of making this field goal. Let's not ruin that 57% chance by the 2% chance we'll throw an interception that could give us an 80% chance of winning the game." You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Sunshine, you have something to add?
Yes, I think in that moment that you guys are underestimating the greatness of the Georgia Bulldogs, and that Ohio State was clearly scared of what could happen, considering that after the quarterback's 27-yard scramble, they did not win a yard. Matter of fact, they lost 1. But the greatness of these Bulldogs, that'll do it to you.
Yeah, fair enough. They were scared of the bite.
It was 41 points. They were totally scared too.
Yeah.
In the off season, can we do a thing where I'm Paul Feinbaum or someone's Paul Feinbaum and you're just the SEC caller, just like shitting on the other conferences? Because that's a very funny idea. I like you being the SEC stand or the Georgia stand.
Okay. I'm adding Matt as Paul Feinbaum.
Or someone as Paul Feinbaum.
I don't know. I think Chris just did a good job as Paul Feinbaum right then.
They were scared of Georgia.
Oh.
No, I agree, and I didn't watch the kick. I'm gonna be the first one to admit it. I'm not a football guy. I turned on Ryan Seacrest for the last 5 minutes to be amenable and fun-loving, and I was drunk. And so I was like to the point where I drank like 3 bottles of champagne at that point.
Yeah.
Your boy was in trouble. I sent like
Well
1 a.m.
played,
chuggies
Matt.
of drinking champagne that was
Oh,
open.
I was
There
so football guy and so steak drunk from earlier that I fell asleep at halftime.
That is the football guy. You're a football grandpa, actually. You're a football grandpa.
Same. I don't know if this is better or worse. I went to bed at halftime on purpose because I
You had
had
to
Ohio
drive.
State +7, and
Hey,
yeah, I was
I fell
driving to
asleep in
Tampa
my
the next
bed.
day.
When I say I fell asleep in my bed. It wasn't
Okay.
like I passed out on the lazy boy. I fell asleep in my bed. Grandpa went to bed, and I was like, Missy, you want to watch Ryan Seacrest or football? And she didn't answer me because she was like buried in her phone or something. And I was like, I'm going to bed.
Same.
I didn't tell her I was
Did
going to bed.
not see midnight.
I Irish goodbye my wife on New Year's Eve.
No, it's not like I even went to bed. I was up till like 1:30. I was just drunk and out of control. And I was like, all right, let's watch this ball drop. What do you say? And then I forgot the game had ended. I was like, oh, and I rewatched it in my stupor. But it was an experience. It was an experience. I do remember watching the first 3 quarters, and it was great. It was a great game. I was super excited. I can't believe how well Ohio State played through the first 3 quarters. I thought Georgia was going to boat race them a bit. But lucky for me, I'm the smartest person in the world. I went to TikTok that day and listened to Al's round robin that hit all 4 legs. And your boy, we got paid. It
it was a good day.
So if you're not doing that, why? Why do you listen to this podcast if you don't want to bet and make money? Go to TikTok, follow us.
So after those 2 like outrageously entertaining playoff games, you guys think we're going to get the coup de grace in the national championship game, or you think we're going to get a stinker?
Coup de grace.
Got it. You heard it here first. Danny's on TCU.
I don't think this game will be particularly close. I think is 10 points considered close? Because I could see it being a 10-point game.
I
guess
would
it
say
depends
within
how
a
you score the
score,
10
one
points.
score game is a close game.
You consider the TCU Michigan game close, where Michigan scores a touchdown with 3 minutes left to get it within 1 score?
Yeah, I would. Then okay. Then a coup de grace. I don't know. I'm scared. I don't know what to do with this game. We'll find out.
Even though TCU kind of was out in front most of that, that second half or whatever, I still think that was a good game.
That was a fireworks show. The amount of chunk plays, right? Technical chunk plays, but there were 50 yards. That's more than a chunk play that were going for touchdowns. Was back to back. It was awesome. They scored 41 points in the third quarter. 41.
Yeah, we were sitting there, and I was like, it was halftime, and I was telling them we could leave and we could watch the second half. And then basically I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna hit the over in this game. And then I was telling Missy, like, that was a touchdown. That was a touchdown. That was a touchdown. That was a touchdown.
44 points. I'm sorry, I said 41. 44 points.
So many points.
I think Georgia's going to boat race them. I don't think it's close. I told you already. I think TCU's win against Michigan. You guys can tell me I'm wrong. That's fine. I think they got a little bit lucky, and I don't think Georgia's going to let you get lucky like that. So I'm laying the 12.5 with Georgia.
Andy, what did the analytics say on TCU's defense? Can you do you have the spreadsheet, or is that like retired now?
No, I thought they were in that Michigan game. So much tougher.
Yeah.
So you said defense? Is that what you said? Yeah.
Yes, TCU's
I have
defense.
TCU's defense ranked as 24th in the.
Okay. Then the game could be close. I understand Georgia's defense is probably the best side, I'm assuming, in the matchup analysis.
First or second?
First.
Okay.
And then on offenses, I have Georgia 4 and TCU 12.
It's a good game. Shit. That's a top 25 in all departments.
Yep. Not that my numbers are the end all be all, but yeah.
So I'm just looking right now because there's still a decent amount of spread within the different books on the spread here. So you can get Georgia as little as -12, and you can get TCU. You can still get TCU plus 13.5. Just to know where everyone's at going into this thing. Total wise, we're looking at anywhere from 60, like a over 62 to an under 63. So just noting that.
Sonny, what you got?
Andy, what's your number say for the line? What do you think, or what is your like expected line? I know you don't do totals as much, but
17 was
17? Okay.
what I had as a fair line. So
Okay. I'm still taking the 13.5 because
go for it. I've been terrible in both seasons, so people should probably fade me.
it has nothing to do with being terrible in bowl season. There's a couple of things that I'm betting on here. One, Al talked me into Maximum Duggan last week, and I had so much fucking fun rooting for him. It was just awesome. Two, I 1000% agree that TVs, books, and everything is going to be trying to keep this game close. Well, now not so much the books when we looked at the way the money's bet right now. When it's 95% on TCU, maybe the books aren't going to be working so hard. But TV is going to be working to keep this game close. So, and there's actually way more money on TV ratings than there is even in the game. So, and they're actually dirtier businessmen than the books. Less people watching where the TV money goes than where the gambling money goes.
Less regulators.
I mean, to talk about Maximum Duggan, he just gives me such incredible Joe Burrow vibes. Like I get this exact same vibe. He's a guy who is going to have the ball in his hands with a chance late in the game.
Yeah.
And granted, that could happen with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and he could throw a pick six, and then Georgia could go out and score twice more before this thing ends, and Georgia could cover. But I think it's just as likely that he's got the ball in his hands with a chance to make this a ball game late. So even though it feels like this number is going to get bet down to like Georgia -12, I said earlier, which is where it's at now. So maybe they're hoping to get it down under that, and then all the smart money is going to come in on Georgia. But I'll take TCU plus 13.5 and just hope that it holds on.
I don't think the smart money cares about 13 or 12. I don't know, but
sometimes they do. Sometimes they know, like they see how the shit's getting bet and everyone's on TCU, and they're going to be okay. And then at some point they're going to say, "Now's the time," and then they bet that shit. Yeah, this isn't going to get down to 10. I know that. So
no,
it's probably 12 is probably the number, but it's at 12 now. So I wouldn't be surprised if it starts going the other way soon.
I think TCU is going to win though, so I want to bet it on the money line.
I love it. Let's, if you're gonna have fun with it, fucking have some fun with it.
That's my point.
What's the money line bet?
Right now, you can get them at plus 340. So I'll probably
as high as 360.
What?
I can see as high as 360.
360. Yeah. So I'll
plus 375 bet MGM.
If you like plus 7.5, it's not really that great either. Like plus 145. If you want to get weird and alt-liney, where like a one-score game, plus 145 is interesting, but I was hoping it would be better.
What if we have what if there is a boat race in this game, but it's the other way? TCU minus 13.5 or something, plus 800.
Can we see if it's out there yet?
Be shocked by. So I think, like I said, I'm rooting for TCU win, and I would like to hit a nice 3-1 bet on it, or 3.5 to 1 bet on it, and that would be really fun. Which is why I'm going to do it. But I don't I see them if they win, it's going to be like either a last-second missed field goal or a last-second field goal or a touchdown going in to win the game or stopping them on a fourth down to end the game or something. I don't see them as boat racing.
Yeah,
Georgia. I don't see Georgia getting boat raced by an NFL team.
Yeah.
Okay, so the book I'm looking at, the lowest number they go of TCU laying points is 2.5. TCU minus 2.5. They don't have any numbers laying more than that, and that's plus 360, which is the same as the money line we had before, right?
Yeah.
So
Now I have 340 on Bovada, so.
So I don't have a lean on this game. I am going to make a plus money bet here, and it is maximum Duggan to score a touchdown. They will get the ball close, and TCU will punch the ball in, but they use Max Duggan all the time as the battering ram, and I like it for plus 125.
I love it.
Parlay I lost on this game on Max Duggan passing yards.
Yeah, you can't go with him for passing yards. He's going to get you all-purpose yards, but it may
like
not be
240, and he ended up running too much. I had him on over passing yards, over rushing yards, over passing touchdowns, and it was like bet 1 unit to win like 4 units or something. And he missed the passing yards by like 15.
Oh no, we were all rooting for you. Everyone at this when we were hanging out for New Year's was like, Danny needs 30 yards, and we're like, oh, he's not going to get it. And then you got like 12 yards on third down for some reason in a game where they shouldn't have been throwing it. It was an exciting game.
Yeah,
we were all on your side. So
like he took forever to get his second touchdown because he ran 2 of them in when they were like on passing plays, but he ended up running it in.
Dude, it was a game. It was an amazing game.
It was fun to watch.
Maximum Duggan plus 125 to score a touchdown. They're going to battering ram in.
Yeah, I love that.
Hey, do we have a call? Hey, I got a caller from East Atlanta, Sunshine. What's your call on this?
Well, you guys are just crazy, just absolutely crazy. Look. So the Bulldogs had a couple bad quarter. That ain't nothing. Kirby noticed it. Kirby said it in the post-conference. Look, so the secondary needs a little bit of an upgrade. Just a little bit of an adjustment. But let me tell you something. Those Bulldogs are coming, and they're coming strong and hard. And they
are.
Out this TCU. But
listen, nobody messing with Bulldog.
Once in a lifetime, back-to-back national championship aspirations.
Yeah, it's the best y'all been since Herschel Walker. That's for sure. Thank you, Chris from East Atlanta.
Oh, praise Herschel.
Praise Herschel. It's a dangerous game.
Little political.
That's Paul Feinbaum. Chris and I were working on this behind the scenes. I'm glad you guys enjoyed our Paul Feinbaum.
That was good.
Show.
Oh, no thoughts on the total here, boys?
I've got a bet. I'm taking the over.
A lot of these have gone over.
Over 62.5.
Yeah, a lot of the bowl games have seen a lot more scoring, and usually defenses. So my concern here is this: defenses have a tendency to be a little rusty after a month off. For some reason, they're not up to the same speed. My problem there is, did Georgia figure out their problems in the first game and they'll be fine in the second game? It's like starting a new season, right? People get better from game 1 to game 2. That's my only fear with the over, but yes, I like the points. I would probably take the over here.
So like once they're on their last game, they have nothing left to be scared of because it's like, oh, we either win this, there's no like next game or whatever. So there's nothing left to be scared of. Coaches play left scared, and like that's one of the things that holds back a whole lot of offense in college football. Scared ass coaches.
And Georgia's good, right? Like, let's not get it twisted. Georgia's going to be a step up from Michigan, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
They blew out a lot of teams this year.
But if you play like Missouri, you can keep the game close for whatever reason. That game was the one everyone keeps going back to, and it's the one I can't get out of my head, is Missouri against Georgia, and kept it really close until the end. So
Kent State did too.
Oh, Kent State did keep it close. But Georgia's scary. I like the over. I think Georgia. I'm pretty confident Georgia's going to score points.
If you have a supreme talent at quarterback, you can apparently be kicking a field goal to win the game.
Yeah, is that what we're doing here? Max Duggan's the supreme talent. Look, I love Max Duggan. I love Max. I've been there for a long time, since week 3. I love him, but he went 48% completion percentage. Right? Let's not get it twisted. He didn't do a great job through the air. 7.8 yards per attempt, fine, right? That's fine. But a lot of those were giant chunk plays, and he has the freaks on the outside to do it. But he wasn't very consistent against Michigan, and this is going to be another step up in defense.
He was rusty. I mean, you could see it all over his hair.
Hey,
Mano, you're missing the stat that matters. 4 touchdowns.
Oh no, sorry. I have the MV cheese. Sorry about that. If you guys could hear that audio.
That's all right.
No. 4 touchdowns, buddy.
Dude, I'm rooting. I do not want UGA to win back-to-back championships at all. Like, my rooting interest is with TCU.
I don't either. But when they're going to, I might as well make some money off of it.
I agree. But I do believe Max Duggan is going to punch in a touchdown. And Danny, drink a beer. Oh no! Tell your point and then drink a beer. Tell your point.
Okay. So this is kind of a difference between the way Andy gambles and the way I gamble. Andy gambles to try and make money, and I gamble to try and have fun watching sports.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like I might come to my senses by the time Monday rolls around, but I also might not. I might just lean in hard on Maximum Duggan.
Speaking of which, check out our TikTok.
And you know what? Like, since I've never actually been particularly good at handicapping games, and I've never had some spreadsheet that like tells me who's going to win like Andy does, I've always been able to just either like tail Al or Andy for the actual games that I have no like rooting interest in, and then that'll be my rooting interest, or go with what I actually want, and like that's going to hit like 50% of the time basically, and I'll have fun, and I might pay some big, or I might make some money one year. It's just a fun way to live my gambling life.
I love it. So much fun.
It is.
We should do a podcast.
That's the whole point of this podcast. Gambling, so much fun.
So fun.
But our listeners should check out our TikTok. If the lines move significantly between now and Monday, if there's any big news, if our bets change, we'll put something out. Maybe we'll come up with like a same game parlay to put out, something like that. So make sure you check out our TikTok.
I'm sure there's going to be lots of props I'm going to end up playing. Day of.
I'm gonna have a prop parlay. I'm gonna have like all kinds of bets. You can follow me on Action if you want to see the bets I actually make, not the bad ones I give out on here.
All right. Anybody got anything else?
Also,
Championship week.
soccer bets all come out on.
And next week we should probably like give people advance. I don't know if we want to do a soccer podcast, but this is probably something we should talk in production. Never mind. But you may be looking for a soccer podcast sometime next week. So check your feeds, check your YouTube, and all that good shit. There may be something out there. We had a nice little day today, and we're gonna keep it rolling tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody.
Greg Berhalter also out of a job. So.
Did he get fired? I know he didn't get signed.
He does not have a contract.
His contract expired on New Year's on New Year's Eve. That was his last day as employed as a coach.
So I just wanted to point that out, since Matt said he will not be the U.S. men's coach as of New Year's Day. Granted, his contract expired, but
it's so hard to be right all the time.
The tweet here today that he had out there was maybe want him to be our coach more now.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Oh, give out your tell people to drink. I've been telling everybody to drink. I've given out more Chuggies than I have.
Let's all drink.
Andy,
I'm out of beer.
Chris, give out a Chuggie.
Pretend. I have a pet peeve about people in movies holding empty coffee cups. You can always tell. Like, just fill that shit with some water.
Yeah.
Wait, do they carry it too lightly? Are they like the angles wrong?
They move too quickly. They're like,
oh yeah, it's hot.
Yeah, it's always like the fake Starbucks cup with the little sleeve and the black lid.
Not the one from Thrones that was sitting on the table.
The what?
Everybody knows fake movie stars with fake coffee are not Georgia fans. You're right, Chris. That's the problem with them.
Nobody knows about the Starbucks cup from the scene of Game of Thrones.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Wow, very topical, Danny.
It's relevant.
Like 3 years ago, 4 years.
Guys, make sure you go out there and get your pumpkin spice lattes in January.
All right. Everybody drink. Good night, Joey.
Good night,
Joey. Love you.